Grinders and Grindettes, Insecure is back. Yes, season 5, episode 1, titled Reunited. Okay, we'll get into it right after this. So I walked into this episode wanting to know answers that we got left with the last season, and we didn't get everything yet. We kind of did, but it's Insecure, so you gotta expect the unexpected. Obviously Molly and Issa had this crazy riff last season, and they were trying to, I don't know if they were outgrowing each other, but it just seemed like they were kind of growing apart. Molly wasn't really trying to take too many strides in repairing the relationship. I don't know if it was the fact that she was in a new relationship. She was focusing on that. So she was kind of like shitting on Issa a little bit. We see Issa kind of make conscious efforts to repair the relationship. But at the end of the season, I think she just said F it after Molly sabotaged her festival that she put together. So we also saw Issa reunite with, why am I drawing a blank? Lawrence. I'm Lawrence Hive. I'm sorry. I'm Lawrence Hive, but I'm old. I do that a lot. If you follow me, don't take it personal. It's just, Anyway, we seen that she reunited with Lawrence, and then Lawrence ends up getting his ex pregnant, and they had a baby. And Lawrence said he still wanted to be with Issa, and I guess Issa was accepting of the situation, which she said in this episode is complicated. So listen, I was excited to see the gang get back together. It's been a while since I saw Insecure. I've been watching this season I've been watching this show since season 1, since it started. Watch the growth for these characters. I love these characters. I was mad at everybody else last season when Molly was acting like a bee. I'm like, yo, what is her problem? Who I didn't see in this episode, we didn't see a lot of characters, but it didn't center around everybody. It centered around our core, which is Issa, Molly, and what the fuck is the other lady? I'm sorry. Issa, Molly, and the other two people. I'm drawing a blank right now. So they go back to Stanford, which is like their alma mater, and they're back for like a 10-year reunion. And they go back, and we see Issa has car service, and she's waiting, and she looks fly. She got this fly-ass outfit on. She's at the airport. She gets in the car, and then I'm like, okay, they growing up. Then true Issa fashion, she gets out. Oh, this is the wrong car. I'm like, that's just like a classic Insecure type thing. Issa funny as hell. And we see that the other cast members are coming as well. Kelly, Amanda Seals' character. I can't think of her name for some reason. And then her husband, who plays on the show as well. They're all from Stanford. I guess that's where they all met each other. And it's crazy how they all end up moving to LA together to pursue things. So they all walk into the door. They all walk into like the entranceway, and they're talking. And Kelly, I guess, is presumed dead. So she had a hard time getting a name tag, but you see like what they put down for the fact that they think she's deceased, and it's just like could do a great stanky leg, and always had her purse or something crazy. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, they clowning right now. Issa's walking around saying, hey, and they're like, yo, we could tell like who you really remember from the tone of your pitch of your voice. And she's like, oh, really? And it's just classic little Insecure nuances in there and stuff. And then you wait to see the interaction between Issa and Molly. I didn't think Molly was going to be there, but she was. And they're speaking. They're on speaking terms, but it's not like how they were. You could tell something's a little iffy. And then we see that Molly actually broke up with her boyfriend. And I don't know if this got showcased last season. I could be wrong. I think they did at the end. They wind up breaking out because I think Dude said everything was about her, and he wound up leaving her, and she spazzed out about a couple things. But now she's the one trying to kind of like repair the relationship because I guess she misses Issa, and she kind of gets some advice from Kelly on what to do when her and Tiff went through the riff, and she says, "Listen, the thing that I did was to Tiff. You see how I just remembered it? I just couldn't remember Amanda Seales' character, and then I said Tiff. It just flew naturally. But she said the thing that I did was to just laugh at her jokes, even if they were funny, and you just kind of like know if they got two big toes, know if they got this, know that they like kind of just cater to their needs until I guess shit just falls into place. You know what I'm saying? But she said, man, what I do, I fake laughed at her jokes for 2 years, and then she told another joke, and she said, she laughed at it and said, oh, it's a never-ending process. Listen, man, I love Kelly, man. Kelly is by far one of my favorites on the show. A lot of people complained a couple of last seasons that she didn't really have too much depth. But listen, Kelly is the comic relief, man. She's funny, dude. She's funny as hell. They run into I guess an old friend of theirs, Cheyenne, who I guess Issa, Molly, and Cheyenne had a group called the Trap Girls, and she wound up leaving school to tour with Sierra. She was a dancer, so that was a funny exchange. They all like, yo, we like she acted super hood and shit. They try to act super hood, and I'm like, yo, she like, yeah, ain't shit changed. I'm like, this is hilarious. She's like, yeah, I'm still from the Bay, ain't shit changed, and it's just funny as hell, dude. This show, this first episode was it's just a reintroduction to everybody. This wasn't really a thought-driven out, plot-driven episode. It was just kind of like reintroducing the characters, reintroducing us to the humor because it's been so long. Kind of picking up to where Issa and Molly left off at, and just how seeing how where they from when they in college to how they are now. And Issa happens to be on this panel for this company she started, which she can't remember the full name to her company, which I don't get. And it's a funny exchange up there. Everybody on the panel is giving these politically correct answers, and Issa is just like giving these awkward answers, but they're truthful. The guy even introduces her company wrong. He says the block that something he said, and there's the block, and she's just like, yo, you like she's like, yo, you said my shit wrong and shit. And it's just, oh, he said the blow CC instead of the block, and she's and like nobody's cheering for her, just Kelly and Tiff and the regular Molly. And but she's just keeping it real up there, and he's asking these tough questions, and they ain't really tough. It's just she's not confident in what she's done and accomplished in life right now, so she's kind of like still questioning herself. Issa's still trying to find herself in life in her 30s. You know, each season is what she constantly is doing. She's constantly evolving, trying to reach what her true potential is, and we see she still hasn't reached that yet. And it's just, I'm not gonna say it's sad. It is what it is. But the funniest exchange on this show is the mirror. Obviously, that's classic insecure shit. Issa talking to herself in the mirror, hyping herself up. But this time, it's the younger version of herself. When she was in college, she got braces on, staying straight, and the disappointment her younger self has when she looked at her. And Issa's like, listen, start an app, put some pictures on it, and call it Instagram. And she's like, what's the app? I'm like, yes. I love this shit, man. I love this show. But she's just like, yo, what? Do you and Molly move to LA and become lawyers? And she's like, oh, no, that didn't happen. And she's bragging on Issa a little bit because Issa's disappointing her. And she's like, well, Jamel's cheating on you. She's like, what? He is? That was the funniest part of the show to me. That was the funniest part to me. We see they get invited out. We see that after the ceremony, Issa and Molly kind of link up. to get some drinks because Lisa's just like, yo, I just want to do something low key. Molly invites her out, and they're like, yo, let's do something low key. Let's get some drinks. And they're walking around, and they kind of just venting their frustrations, and they get something to eat, and then they get a text that Cheyenne wants to go out to Oakland with them. And they're like, oh, hell yeah. So they all driving out to Oakland, and Cheyenne wants to do a detour at this, this like strip plaza. And they going to get some liquor, and they come out, and the guy comes out and pulls a gun out on them, and they're freaking out. They're like, "Oh my God, take everything off!" And Cheyenne's being over dramatic. She's like, "Oh my God, she got a Cartier watch on too. Don't take her watch." Like she's like kind of, you can tell something's iffy, and she's screaming, and they like, "Yo, chill out," and dude like, "Yo, shut up, man, before I blow your heart." And then he like, yo, Cheyenne, chill out. And then he says, they're like, Cheyenne. And she like, she gives into him. So she like set them up to be robbed. I'm like, oh, this is a scumbag. She take Molly's shoes, Molly watch, just a bunch of stuff. Issa tries to give her shoes. She like, nah, you can keep those. I'm like, oh, that's foul. She just starts taking her shoes off. She's like, nah, you can keep those. I'm like, wow, that's hilarious. But they get back in the car, and Kelly and Tiff are like, yo, where's the liquor and where's Cheyenne? And they like, yo, we just got robbed and shit. They're like, what? And they like look at them, and they just start busting out laughing. And like, this is how it really is too. When you in crazy situations, like life or death situations, and you make them out of them, it come a certain time where you look back and it was like, yo, that shit is funny. I'm telling you, I've been in situations like, you be like, yo, that's funny. Like, dude, you should have seen your reaction, or you should have seen how you was acting. That's how they was. And he's like, yo, why they didn't want to take my shoes? And it's great to see this. This is the first time that we've saw Issa and Molly be this close to each other, like to really interact with each other. And it just seemed natural and not forced, you know what I'm saying? So it was good seeing these characters reunited. It sucked that it took a situation like that to kind of get them reunited. Tiff's boyfriend is trying to find some tree they got their name carved on. He doesn't find it. He doesn't find it. Anyways, afterwards they go on. The next day they eat at a diner. He tells them he found a tree. Tiff tells him, like, yo, I saw him carving our name in a tree. He ain't find shit. I just went along with it. But they give Kelly an official, I guess, going out ceremony. Just saying good things, making her feel better about herself. And, that was pretty much it. We see that everybody flew back to L.A. and what they're doing. We see Molly sitting in the mirror reflecting. Obviously, if you've seen the trailer, she's going to eventually cut her hair. We see Lawrence picking up Issa at the airport. Tiff and her husband are just, they playing with the baby. He got a staffer onesie on. Kelly has a podcast she started, and she's just talking about if you had a second chance at life, what would you change? What would you do? Would you live? Yada, yada, yada. So it's just self-reflecting. Then we see Lawrence and Issa driving the car, and it's super awkward. And I'm like, what's going on here? So we know it's some kind of awkwardness with them in that situation. And then we see it kind of head on when he brings her to the house, and he's like, yo, should I? And she's just like, I've been doing some reflecting, and I think that, and he's just like, all right, I got you. So I'm like, damn, he done stayed in LA for this bum. And she done dumped this man. So we'll see. They probably end up getting together. I can't see Jay Ellis being in all the promo for the show and then getting one episode and clip. So my prediction is by the end of the season they're going to be engaged. I guarantee it. You could come. We could bet. CashApp is below. I guarantee that they're going to end up being engaged by the end of the season. I just can't see all these seasons going by and then them not being with each other after they just got back together. You know what I'm saying? So who knows? But listen, decent episode. Looking forward to the rest of the season. Post your comments below. Let me know what you thought about it. And always make sure you like, subscribe, and the notification bell. Peace, love, and prosperity. One.